What is going on, guys, and welcome to the 1st of April. 1st of April. I'm going back in time, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 1st of August Raw review. Last night's Raw. We're going to be talking all about it. We're going to go going through it in chronological order. We're going to get... Oh, for fuck's sake, I can't talk properly today. We're going to be giving the show a rating out of 10. And we're also going to be talking about MrWWEcam's Battle of the Brands. We're going to be talking about what this Raw means to that, and how much of a chance SmackDown has at bringing themselves back. At the moment, Raw up 21 points on the Battle of the Brands, 53-32 to SmackDown Live. But that's not what we're going to talk about first. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. After last week's show, it was going to be hard to follow. And it was a tough sell. It was a decent show of Raw. It wasn't anything spectacular, but a decent show from Raw. We saw a few segments that I really, really enjoyed. A couple of good matches. But let's start then with the opening part, which was Sasha Banks coming out opening the show, which I really loved the idea of that. Sasha Banks, sorry, did I say Sasha Banks or did I say Charlotte opening the show? I meant to say Sasha Banks, if I said Charlotte, I apologise. Sasha Banks opening the show, loved that, new women's champion. Didn't really get to say much, and out came Charlotte. So we then had these two squaring off, bit of a verbal sparring going on. Chris Jericho then decided to come out. We then saw Enzo Amore coming out as well. A kind of... the funny sort of exchange from the pair of tag teams, or mixed tag teams. And then we saw a mixed tag team match, so a decent way to open the show. And then we saw a mixed tag match, which Sasha Banks and Enzo Amore lost. Charlotte and Chris Jericho picking up the win in controversial fashion. An okay match. Mixed tag matches are never going to steal the show. They're always okay. This was okay. And yeah, maybe Sasha should have won her first match. But to note, that was the only thing that was done with the Divas in the whole entire show. It means them 10 points, I believe it's 10 points, it might be 5 points, no, I think it is 10 points. 10 points for best Divas, best women's I never say it properly. Best women's proportion of the show of the week. Raw only gave us this. SmackDown has a chance of 10 points. Big chance. It really, really does. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. I'm starting to get my words out. Braun Strowman absolutely obliterated Evan Anderholm like he did to whoever he's facing last week. But I don't mind any squash matches for Rowan. This is what he needs. Needs this now until we get to SummerSlam. Post SummerSlam, you can find him an opponent or some lower mid-carders that he can battle his way through before he actually finds a feud. And then we see what Braun Strowman is made of. He needs to be in the ring with people who can wrestle. And what I mean by that is this is why I don't want him to his first big feud. I don't mind now him being in a squash match, etc. But what I'm talking about is his first big feud. I don't want it to be Big Show. I don't want it to be Mark Henry. I want it to be somebody who is quick, somebody who's pacing. And I know, yes, you're feeding them to Braun Strowman, but you can have the match go long. Strowman needs to learn, not how to wrestle, but essentially, yeah, how to put on a long match. And the way you do that is putting him in the ring with top talent, people like Neville. And that's why I hope he faces somebody like Neville and he can learn from the very, very best. Because I'm not being funny, put him in the ring with Big Show. He's not really going to improve as a wrestler too much. We'll talk about Nia Jax. She did exactly the same. She squashed a Divas person as well. Similar route to Rowan, and I expect her to go on a similar route. Apart from she doesn't need as much work in the ring. And I expect her big first feud to come against Paige, and for her to beat Paige, and then for her to come very, very close and to go after Sasha Banks' Women's Championship. We then saw, and obviously she beat up her... person she squashed after the match as well, which was always enjoyable. Shining Stars versus the Golden Truth. What the fuck is this? I don't want to talk about it, to be honest with you. Shining Stars in the ring can get the job done. I don't like the gimmick, but it is what it is. Golden Truth, again, they can get it done in the ring, but it's a comedy. It's a comic. Oh fuck, I can't speak today. It's a comedic act that isn't working. I don't like this whole Pokemon Go bullshit that R-Truth is getting involved. It's really quite stupid. And the quicker this ends, the better for everybody. It was a filler, like Raw always has, and not an enjoyable one at that. And it kind of slowed the show's momentum down, not going to lie. It was a decent start. We hadn't seen anything spectacular up until that point. And that kind of meant that we needed something spectacular. We need something good in the next segment. Otherwise, people were going to start to lose interest on Monday Night Raw very, very quickly. We got something interesting. Finn Balor was being interviewed by Michael Cole at ringside. Loved that. And it's Seth Rollins. He came out. And as I say, them together, they've got chemistry on the mic. Finn Balor's not fantastic on the mic, granted, but this match at SummerSlam, I cannot wait for. Seth Rollins made a joke about the Ghostbusters film, and for the record, it's shit. And he made some other jokes as well about Atlanta Braves and how they were never ever going to win the World Series. That got the crowd wound up. Finn Balor said a couple of stuff as well, something or other that the only thing that you're guaranteed is that I'm gonna. Why can't I not speak today? For fuck's sake! Finn Balor said something along the lines of, I'm gonna kick your ass at SummerSlam. Something like that. I don't know what he fucking said. Something like that. But it was a great segment. There was intensity there from both. Finn Balor showing, okay, so he's not maybe charismatic in regards to on the mic as Seth Rollins, but he has the character. He's not bad on the mic, and Finn Balor deserves to be in the main event. And anybody that says he doesn't deserve to be in the main event, you are crazy. Please try and explain to me how the fuck he doesn't deserve to be in the main event. He then did the payload, the overhead kick as well, and Seth Rollins was sent running. Cannot wait for this match at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship. We then saw Mark Henry versus Rusev for the United States Championship. Rusev doing something to do with the Olympic Games for the United States of America. So they put him in the United States Championship match against Rusev. Good, strong, gladiator versus gladiator. Big man versus big man match. Rusev getting the victory. Mark Henry not being squashed, though, looking strong. Could be an important member of the roster, it has to be said. And we'll have to wait and see when he comes back from his Rio, whatever the fuck he's doing in Rio. And yeah, I did find it funny, though, after when Rusev was talking about how Russia and Bulgaria are being treated unfairly because obviously of the doping issue, etc. Or how he apparently thinks they're being treated unfairly. And then Roman Reigns, the guy who's been suspended for 30 days for recently, taking a few drugs, came out. So I thought that was ironic timing. Whether that was intentional from WWE or not, who knows? But he came out, and it looks as if Roman Reigns is heading after Rusev's United States Championship. So yeah, he's heading after that, and I don't mind that at all. I hope Rusev keeps it, and I'd love to see Roman Reigns lose. Wait, I'm not just shitting on Roman Reigns. I want to see him lose, and I want to see him fucking snap, ladies and gentlemen, and make that heel turn. It could happen. This could be the way. United States Championship, Rusev versus Roman Reigns. It makes the United States Championship seem big, seem much more special. Put it into perspective. Rusev versus, I don't know, Darren Young at SummerSlam for the United States Championship. It's not a particularly big match. Rusev, Roman Reigns, that's a big match, ladies and gentlemen. That's a match that deserves to be on the SummerSlam card. That's a match that does justice to the United States Championship that John Cena worked so hard to build back up. Good segment. I'm glad Roman Reigns is in the spot that he is. It's a better spot for him at the moment. I don't like the whole idea of him possibly... Part of me thinks that this is WWE's attempt to trying to get him cheered again, because they're going to go the whole United States Championship, United States of America, man. I'm going to beat Rusev, bring it... that was the worst American accent of my life. But then part of me thinks maybe they're going to give him to Rusev. Maybe Rusev's going to beat him, then he's going to snap, and this might be the heel turn. I don't know. But there we go, let's move on. Titus ONeil versus Darren Young. This whole segment, match and this segment is okay. Nothing too special. Interesting to see these two facing each other. We then saw Darren Young, obviously Titus ONeil pinned Darren Young with the tights. Cheating little fucking bastard. Goes backstage, has a word with Bob Backlund. A stern word to Titus ONeil. They're shouting at each other. Darren Young comes in, punches Titus ONeil. Looks like this feud is going to be continuing. Be interesting to see how whether they can build some hype around this. At the moment, I'm not that into it, but it's up to them to see what they can do with this feud. Big chance for them. Interesting to see which one WWE picks to come out of this as the winner. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say Darren Young. But yeah, this is sort of the mid card of Monday Night Raw. Nothing too special, but I mean, not too bad. Not too bad. A segment that kind of went on. Nia Jax, but we talked about New Day versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. This was all about the post-match onslaught. Very early on in the match, New Day get the victory. Very short match. Roll up by Big E, and then we saw the onslaught, the brutal assassination. That was probably not the right word to use, Cameron. Of Anderson and Gallows on the New Day, injuring Big E. Was it what? I mean, obviously it's a work. It's not. He's not properly injured. But I wouldn't be surprised if this now means he's out of the SummerSlam match, and it's then Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson win the title, and then Big E comes back. And who knows, this might be the end of the New Day. Who knows? But an interesting segment, and be interested to see whether this Big E injury is going to put him out of SummerSlam or not, and whether that's the sort of plan that WWE is going with. But not a bad segment. Match not particularly interesting because it was so short, but the post-match shenanigans, very interesting. I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm shy. It's 2:30 in the fucking afternoon, for fuck's sake. Cesaro versus Sheamus, the winner, guaranteed a title shot in the future. This match was a decent one. Maybe because the stakes were there. Maybe it was because of a high stakes match. I don't know. But it felt like a big match. And Cesaro getting the win. The end bit with Cesaro countering Sheamus and putting him in to the neutralizer, or hitting the neutralizer, was exquisite. I literally looked like an Italian there. I did the old kiss. I mean, you can't see it because it's a microphone, but you can probably imagine it. But it was a beautiful spot. And now Cesaro, maybe. I mean, I'm thinking in my head here. Finn Balor, Cesaro, Seth Rollins, Cesaro. Is this going to be a big Universal title shot or a United States Championship slot? We don't know. Cesaro Rusev, Cesaro Reigns, Cesaro Finn Balor, Cesaro Rollins. I don't mind any of them. And the thing with it is, maybe Cesaro against anyone is okay. Perhaps that's it. But their matches very much getting me excited down below. Okay, we didn't need to go there. That was not necessary. Let's move swiftly on. Sheamus looking good though in his new role. This could reinvent Sheamus. He's looking good. I know he lost, but looking good. Heath Slater, bit like SmackDown, comes out and randomly beside him is Jinder Mahal. I wasn't particularly surprised because I heard that they'd re-signed him, and I heard that he was at Raw, so I wasn't surprised. And nor was I particularly excited. Nor am I particularly excited that Jinder Mahal's back. He could be okay in the mid-card, just depends how WWE want to book him. I thought, oh my god, they're going to bring back there's going to be 2 MB, not 3 MB, because Drew Galloway or Drew McIntyre, who I love, currently in TNA, I believe he's still the champion, don't quote me on that. I was like, oh god, no, please, God, no, Jesus, Lord have mercy on my soul, I do not want to see that again. Luckily, I was kind of went on a hiatus from WWE when that was happening. Some people said it was entertaining, but like the Social Outcasts, I'm not into groups that are really pathetic and they always lose. It's pointless for me. I don't see the logic. I always like to see a team as a threat. 3MB weren't. They were just a comedy act that I just don't personally think for me would have ever worked. But there you go. Maybe Jinder Mahal can be good, and maybe if that kick that he did to Heath Slater is anything to go by, he could be. He's on Raw now, so he strengthens their mid-card, but I don't really... What are they going to do with him, really? That's the kind of question. I don't know where he's going to go, what he's going to do, to be honest with you. But time, I'm sure, will tell. And we will have to wait and see. What am I talking about? I've just completely lost my rail of thought. Heath Slater. This is continuing. Probably now, Fat Jinder Mahal's gone on to Raw. Expect Heath Slater to be on SmackDown somehow, sometime, some way. But I don't mind this. It's a good way of using Heath Slater's non-draft in a creative way. So granted, WWE doing a good job on that. And to know, I forgot there was a backstage segment between Chris Jericho. It might actually have been before, it might have happened after this point, so I might still be doing it in kind of chronological order. Who gives a fuck? And basically it looks like Owens, Jericho teaming up to face Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. I hope that we see Kevin Owens turn on Chris Jericho and then we get a feud between them. I know it probably wouldn't work because they're both heels, but I don't mind. I don't mind. Does anybody else mind? I just want to see them fight. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that feud. That could be a decent one. Don't mind that at all. So yeah, not too bad at all. Let's move on then to Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn. Now this is probably Raw's best shot. Well, it is. It's Raw's best shot of getting match of the week. It was a decent match. It wasn't great. It was a good match, and this is why I think SmackDown has a massive chance to close the gap on Raw in the Battle of the Brands, because the women's proportion of the show, they should win that. They should. Match of the week, Seth Rollins Zayn. On paper, you think, oh my god, that's going to be tough to beat, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. I think it's beatable. Put it that way, it's beatable. The moment of the week, I like the end segment of Raw, so it might win it. We'll talk about that in a minute, but there is room there for, and this wasn't a stellar Raw show, so the rating and the 10 points for the better show means SmackDown have got a chance here to peg Raw back and to head us into week 3, more than likely with stuff very close. We'll have to wait and see, and see what happens. But yeah, decent match to say this, very good match, and or good match, and Seth Rollins getting the victory. Zayn's going to be big though on this on the roster. When you split the roster in half, names go up, propel up the thing they have to, and Sami Zayn will be good. Obviously floating around at the moment, struggling to find where he's going to go. Same with Kevin Owens, really. Obviously now he's in a feud there. So I don't really know what Sami Zayn's going to do for the next few weeks, but whether he'll be on the SummerSlam card, who knows. Seems like that SummerSlam card is starting to shore up. But who knows? I wouldn't be opposed for a friendly Sami Zayn versus Cesaro match at SummerSlam. And I know that sounds stupid, but you could have Cesaro go out and go, I can't believe I'm not on the SummerSlam card, because he's obviously been a bit sort of anti-WWE officials at the moment. I can't believe I'm not on the SummerSlam card. Crown a bit of a sort of pipe bomb, CM Punk style, and then Sami Zayn comes out and say, well, I'm not on the SummerSlam card. Let's go talk to, why don't we have a match? Why don't we have a match? Me versus you at SummerSlam. You put your title, almost like Money in the Bank title slot thing that you won against Sheamus today. Put that on the line and we'll face each other at SummerSlam in a friendly but competitive match. Why not? Why can people not just fight? I mean, I know I just added the stakes there, but you don't even have to add that Cesaro bit in. Why can't they just fight? Mick Foley, Stephanie could come out, they could say, yes, go steal the show at SummerSlam, and that could be the objective, stealing the show and then putting on a show. I don't know, perhaps I'm being stupid, but that's just an idea that I had just going around my brain. Seth Rollins picking up the victory with a pedigree. I wish he brought the curb stomp back, but I can deal with it. Now this is one thing, this is one award that SmackDown's going to have to just pull something out of the bag. Shelton Benjamin's going to have to come back. If Shelton Benjamin comes back, they're winning this, but that's the only thing I can really see happening that can beat this for moment of the week. Brock Lesnar returned with Paul Heyman. That's a big thing. Paul Heyman cut a stellar promo. Because at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar is going to beat your ass and drag you down to Suplex City, bitch. That's what's happening. I love Paul Heyman. I just want to meet Paul Heyman. More than anybody else in the world, I want to meet Paul Heyman. I love him. I love everything he says. He makes me excited about everything. He could get me excited about a broom versus a broom match, for fuck's sake. He really could. What a guy. What a man. What a promo. Lesnar just standing there. And then out comes, from the crowd, Randy Orton, from the SmackDown Live roster, Stephanie and Mick, they're fucking fuming. RKO, Randy Lesnar, SummerSlam. SummerSlam shipping up to be a good show. And it ended Monday Night Raw on a good note. Like last week, we ended it with like Finn Balor. Holy shit, Finn Balor's a champ. This week, we end it with Brock Lesnar being RKO'd by Randy Orton. Great 2 ways to end the show. What I always say about a show is the ending is so, so important. If you end well, that's what sticks in people's mind. If you have a good show, if you end, with a good segment or a good match or a good moment, like we have the past 2 weeks, you forget the crap in between, the kind of filler, the rubbish stuff, the stuff that, you know, the primo gold dust stuff, Shining Stars Golden Truth stuff. You forget that, and you forget the other slow parts of Monday Night Raw, and you just say, you know what, good show. If we ended up with a crap segment to end the show, you'd look and you'd say, you'd remember them bad bits. Much the same as when it's a bad show can look a lot better if you end it well. Don't know if that makes sense. To be honest with you, I really don't. But anyway, let's talk about the rating. Battle of the Brands. As I say, 52-43. Hang on, have I miscalculated there? I said, 32-53. So up 21 is Monday Night Raw. And they will go up a little bit more. And I'm going to give the show... Last week got an 8 out of 10. Very, very good show. One of the best we've seen for a long, long time. And I suppose that was kind of harsh. SmackDown got a 7 out of 10. And if I compared this Raw to last week's Raw, it wasn't as good. If I compare it to last week's SmackDown, I'd say it was on par, really. Yeah, I'm gonna say 7 out of 10 for Monday Night Raw. 7 out of 10 then for this show, which means it goes up to 60 points. It means that SmackDown is 28 points behind, but a 7 out of 10 is a beatable score. SmackDown, the ball's in your court. The Battle of the Brands, MrWWEcam's Battle of the Brands. You can follow it all on my Twitter, at MrWWEcam, if you want to see that. I haven't posted it as a post tweet, but what I will try and do is add the hashtag MrWWEcam's Battle of the Brands to it all, so you can just click the hashtag and you can find it. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below about Raw, and I will see you. Jesus Christ, just a heart attack. I thought I'd forgot to record it. Set record to the microphone. Luckily I hadn't. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. I don't know why I kissed you. Well, I didn't kiss you. Let's just end it. This is getting weird. Thanks.